CeeJaey, you're doing opening.
Oh, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KritzKast. Professional as always. We've kind of postponed our usual UGC action tonight. Normally it's a Monday night, but a UGC gaming. But as we're entering the playoffs, there's a lot of dead rubbers. We're going to bring you instead some juicy ETF2L action. Yes, that's right. ETF2L's 15th season of Highlander is on the horizon. It is so close. But there is one final thing to be sorted before the season starts, and that's going to be who's actually going to be participating in the top division. Yes, this is the preseason qualifiers for the Premiership division. We only have 3 confirmed teams in Prem so far. One of them is Lucrosa, who avoided relegation last season. The second is Budget Toucans, who won high last season. And the third is Elephant, a newly formed team that was given an automatic spot based on the player histories. But there are still 3 spots to fight for, and there are 6 teams going into these qualifiers to try and fight for those places. This is the first round between the lower seeded teams, and the winner of these will go into the semi-finals to play against the higher seeded teams. It is double elimination, so losing here today will not be the end of the world. However, 2 teams here have got a lot of history, and there is a lot of pride at stake. In one corner, we have last season's Premiership runners-up, Feila eSports. Of course, those of you who watched Season 14 saw them lose out to Strong Opinions in the Grand Final. Might make you question, why are they in the qualifiers? Well, the rules are, if you change over 50% of your roster, you have to qualify for Prem again, and Feila have changed 7 of their original 9 from Season 14. So they are in the qualifiers here, and facing them are 2 times Prem champions, Tourettes Chess Club. Again, you might be wondering, what is a huge team like Tourettes Chess Club having to do in the qualifiers? Well, if you remember last season, they came back for another fight, and unfortunately for them, they finished bottom of the table, and therefore got relegated and have to fight their way back into Prem again. I'm CeeJaey, and I'm joined with Wiethoofd on the camera, and Chando is my co-caster. Chando, are you excited for these games, man?
I am so excited to see these 2 teams bat out, as you say, for a spot in that Premiership division. 2 teams that I really didn't expect to see here, to be quite honest with you. They both have shown huge success in the past. As you say, Feila coming in second last season, so it's shocking to see them in the sort of fighting for a spot to play in Prem again. But I mean, you're completely right. Only 2 of the original roster have remained. That is Joe and Layla, the power couple, and it's classic kind of Feila move there, kind of revamping their roster each season, taking on new players, taking on new prodigies, and I mean, they seem to be doing quite well from what I've seen in some of their scrims. I've had a little watch and whatnot, and then they're in the Experimental Cup, and they did alright. I casted their game on, I believe it was Warmtick, and they did very, very well. But it's a typical kind of cough map for Feila, usually goes in their advantage. And yeah, I mean, Tourettes Chess Club, or Tourettes Frenchclub, as they're called now. You say they came last, but I'm also looking at the roster now. It looks far more sort of stable, I'd say a lot stronger. There's a lot of good players coming back, and a lot of sort of new and rising Highlander superstars coming into play. You picked up Kunu, for example, who's been doing really well for himself, so hopefully he'll find a stable team to start excelling in, amongst others as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing these 2 teams battle out on Badwater, which will be the first map.
Yeah, I mean, it should post to be a close game. I mean, you can take a look at the bracket on your screen right now. As you can see, there are 2 teams already in the semi-finals. One of them is Open Squad, and one of them is Wasp. Obviously, those are 2 teams that missed out last season, didn't play, but they have been reformed for Season 15. And they, based on their kind of scrim results and the quality and the history of some of their players, they've been given a top seed. So they'll be automatically in the semi-finals. Playing in another game today is Little Team versus On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Of course, these 2 juggernauts going head-to-head in this fixture here today. So if you lose, you'll be down into the lower bracket. Winning will see you through to the next round. The winner of this game, I believe, goes on to face against Wasp. So, I mean, juicy matches all around. I mean, there are so many top-quality players trying to get their way into Prem here in the qualifiers. And like you said, it's Badwater. We see a lot of changes on both teams. I mean, for those of you who've not been around for a few seasons and might wonder, what what is going on with these rosters. Yeah, Feila last season reached the Prem final. They did very well throughout the season. They did knock out Super Dickmans, who were the defending champions at the time. But like Chando said, Joe and Layla are the only two players who remained. 5 of their players, I believe, Strono, Poker, Mezzo, Zamperoni, and Cloudy, have all joined Open Squad, who are one of the teams also in the qualifiers. Middle also left the team, and that's left Joe and Layla to kind of rebuild around some new players. We see some returning faces, Bloodis and Mentia, both two players who have played for the team before. Spamfest was a backup for Strong Opinions, played a few games last season. He'll be on Engineer. We have some new faces for them, like Jinxie on Scout, Cazador on Sniper, Agi, aka Mello, will be playing Spy. T-Time, who's played in Prem before, played in a Prem final for Fair Enough back in Season 10. So he's got plenty of experience. He is on Pyro for Feila eSports as well. And Chando, like you said, I mean, talking about the chess club roster, there's a lot of big names there, but like, who stands out for you the most?
I think I already mentioned Kunu. I've a great deal of respect for him coming up in the ranks so quickly and really making himself a sniper to be reckoned with. On top of that, you've got sort of returning kind of high-ranking players. Kazul, who's kind of been the kind of core, consistent member, I suppose, of Tourettes Chess Club or French Club now, and so you know he's always performing well as a top-tier spy. Kresnik playing for them last season, incredible heavy, I'd say one of the best heavies in TF2 at the moment, coming in from the North America. So, I mean, those guys kind of standing out as well. I think the combo could, not the combo, the flank could be really interesting as well. You're going to, seeing Olga and Raf, two Frenchies, who kind of compiling the French club name there, play a lot of sixes together. They've shown kind of huge, I can't think of the word now. They've just gotten very, very good, I suppose, in sixes again, like in a fairly short time, and they're kind of rising up the ranks in that situation. So I'm sure they'll do very well today as well in Highlander. But just generally, the whole team just looks polished with a new kind of fresh feel to it that we didn't see last season. So it's going to be very exciting and very interesting to see how they perform this season.
Yeah, I think for most people it was a surprise last season when they went through the qualifiers. They managed to win their way through, but then basically lost every game and finished bottom of the table. There was a lot of roster inconsistencies, and it was towards the end of the season that they started to solidify a little bit. Olga and Raf playing on that flank, doing very well together. They've also had Sinrise returning, with Strong Opinions no longer participating. He's come back to Chess Club, which was his first kind of major team, I should say, and he was Pyro of the season last season. Deox has returned to Chess Club to play as Engineer, the class that he played for them in Season 9. We do have EVS, who is playing Medic. I believe he is merking in for Seeds, who is supposedly their main. So we have DVS, who plays for Budget Toucans, playing Medic for them. But for the rest of it, it's pretty much full rosters here, and we are live. As we see the sub time going along, we're going to have Feila eSports in the blue. And we have Tourettes Frenchclub. I keep saying Chess Club. They're always going to be Chess Club to me. They are in the red. And Feila will be trying to set as fast a time as they can, with Chess Club trying to beat that later on. And Badwater is such a regular staple now, Chando. It's pretty much everyone knows how to play Badwater. It's the map that everyone knows how to play. It's about those fine details, I think, on like the third point.
The third point is absolutely massive. So easy to get rolled if you really muck up on the first defense. As Kalis taking down Shrine Maiden as the doors open to those sticky trap there. They're going to be pushing the card up a little bit, and basically the whole team currently playing on that cliffside there. So you're expecting to see a few suicide waves coming through from the demo and Soldier. Standard meta there. It's just a matter of time, but they're playing so close together at the moment. And Wrath, Soldier just holding that under area. T-Time going to get taken down by Olga. Mello as well. Shrine Maiden, so many players coming in. Uber actually comes out. He did manage to get the force off. Joan got taken down. But now with that lack of Uber, it could be an easy push here for Feila.
Yeah, huge bomb there by Joe. He only got the force, but he also took down Kalis. So there's no Uber and there's no demo. This is going to be so much space for them to walk in here. They're just going to be able to walk in without the fear of a sticky trap. Kalis takes the teleporters. He's actually in now. The Uber's going to come in. T-Time and Joe taking most of it. But Sinrise just calmly pushing them away, putting them down on the low ground. The sentry does get down with a snipe from Kaza, takes down DVS. Mello comes in and gets the backspawn to Kuno. This is absolute slaughter right now. Kaza gets a second headshot onto the demo man. Kayla's dead. Joe is the only person who has actually died here. Tourettes Frenchclub on the back foot. Uber disadvantage. I don't think they're going to be able to hold on to second.
Absolutely not. They're going to be lucky if they can hold to third at this rate. Look at the momentum coming in from Feila there. They are already kind of pushing up onto second and onto third. Now Shrine Maiden taking down Raf. And it's just the demo man, Kalis. He's got to back out. Kunu's going to try and get a couple of shots off, but they know they can't do this. And otherwise, it's just kind of flogging a dead horse if they really try anything. They kind of got this kind of passive hold. If they can get a few good picks, they might be able to do something in regards of sort of taking back third. But at the moment, the kind of pushed back behind that corner, and it's going to be very hard for them to fight back there. Kunu getting sniped down by Kazarok now. Uber comes out for Feila. Kalis goes down. KritzKast as well. No combo, and the aggression's coming in from Sinrise. Can they get the medic? The medic's backed up in a corner. DBS, 36 health. Gets taken down. T-time with the 2K. Does actually manage to get rocketed by Raf, and Sinrise manages to get the pick onto Joan there. But the damage is done now. They're going to be able to get third pretty much here, I think, CeeJaey.
That is just huge, and this is going to be a very fast time here. Jinxie trying to get that cap. He's pretty weak, but he should be able to get it with the support of Bloodis. And I just can't wait to see what time it's going to be. 2:28 for the 3 points on Badwater. That is insane. Feila were just so aggressive. That first point was won on a headshot, and the way that they played, what they did, they just went balls deep. They just went in. We've got the med pick. As long as our med survives, we have an advantage anyway. Threw everybody forward, and Chess Club just weren't ready for that aggression. And then upon that wipe, they've just moved all the way up to third. Now third is where you can get so much time on Badwater, and Chess Club have had to give this up pretty much for free. So they're still at an uber disadvantage. I didn't like the fact, Chando, that they held so aggressively there. They should have realised that they were disadvantaged. They got to realise this is 2018. Pyro can just walk into you and kill everyone, and T-Time going absolutely huge there to get the medic earlier on. So yeah, Feila could actually seal this with one push now.
It's absolutely doable there. They're going to have to wait until their combo comes back. The flank, comes up. Shrine Maiden just coming back alive now. Uber's already back out though. Leia wasting no time at all. KritzKast getting the pick off there by Bloodis, and he's just going to be playing the cart now. And Chess Club just holding back so far to DVS getting rocketed down by Shrine Maiden. And the picks coming in. Kazarok taking down Kunu. He's just absolutely dominating that sniper v sniper. And now it's just going to be up to Rise. Does manage to get the pick onto Layla, in fact, so that is probably the best pick that he could have got. But they've got so many players on the point now, and they have absolutely no spaces. KritzKast gets backstabbed, and it's just going to go straight in. What is that time? Under 4 minutes. I've never seen that before, CeeJaey.
That's one of the fastest times I've seen on Badwater, and considering how much we hyped up these two teams, I was expecting a real tactical show, but Feila have just executed this perfectly and just have no response. Once again, they know they're at an uber disadvantage. They try to keep their players alive. They managed to keep their mech alive, if not for the rocket that came in to kill DVS late on from Menti. But the big play there was Joe. He just walked in, and once he realised that he had enough kills to control that low ground, he just spammed out everybody. He took down the players he needed to and just controlled that. He was just stood there like, come at me. You know, come at me. Someone kill. You know, Sinrise came in to try and do something. He managed to take down Layla. Any other time of the day, a med pick is huge, but when you've got 8 other players just pushing the cart and fragging, there's nothing you can do. And there was something there with the Iron Bomber. I felt Raf was in a really good position. He was in map room, he was alone. He could have actually helped defend that cut for maybe long enough just to get some respawns in. But the Iron Bomber, the first pipe hit him, and the next 2 flew in behind him. And because of the shorter fuse time, he just died to the rollers. Extremely frustrating, having played against it for a couple of seasons now. But you can see that one item there proving the difference and what Raf could have made a big change. So there we go, just under 4 minutes is the time to beat for Chess Club. They're going to have to do this quickly, otherwise the first round of this best of 3 on Badwater is going to go to Feila.
It's going to be certainly tricky for them, but you know, they could get a good suicide wave in here. We will have to wait and see. It's entirely doable to beat. It will be very difficult at the same time though. The bomb comes in from Soldier there, gets the force off in fact. So that's something, that's a start at least. They didn't actually manage to get that many picks, however. Although taking down Mello, it's not a big deal, but that huge Uber advantage. DVS now with 100%, Layla only on 20. They can easily push this now, and this is the makings of potential to actually contest Feila's astonishing time there. Just getting the carts in a good position at the moment, and they did basically keep their entire players there. Shrine Maiden getting taken down, Kazra as well. Now the Uber comes out onto Kalis. He needs to start popping some shots though, because Kresnik and Kunu just got killed as well. Blood, however, getting taken down. Tea Time, Layla as well. That mini sentry is absolutely unstoppable. Jinxie and Joan, that is almost a wipe, and yes, they could do it.
They can do this here. They just need to keep times 3 on the cart and get just as aggressive as Feila did earlier. I mean, I've played with and against Kazul for a long time. He always goes for the sentry saps during Uber exchanges. He always goes in and he gets that sentry down, takes it out of the fight. We can see Spamfest is already in the window. He's got a level 1 there, but he's going to have to build it up to at least a level 2 before it has any effect really here. Layla at 25%. She's only about 15% behind DVS here, and you can see ChessClub, they're already on second, they're on the slope, they're not all the way in on third like Feila were. They need to start moving now so that they actually have some, but there we go, Joe with the stickies takes down Kalis. No demo for this push and no sniper as well. Unlikely they're going to be getting any picks anytime soon.
They played this so much better than ChessClub did on the third point. They saw that they had the potential there, or maybe it's ChessClub's lack of aggression, but either way they are able to recapture third, and this completely changes the dynamic for this round now. 1 minute and 50 is so doable if you've got hold of third point. You've got the level 3 up and you've got your combo playing in that kind of right side lobby balcony place, and the Uber's going to come out now, but they've had to use so much just getting there. The counter comes back up and now they're on the retreat. And Sinrise is going to go down, DVS is going to go down, Kunu, Kalis, Kresnik, all of the C's and the K's, they're all going down. So many picks. Olga getting minigun down as well, followed by Deox. Nice try, but they used that Uber so early. By the time that they even got to the enemy, it was fading and their Uber was out as well, and they just had to retreat and they couldn't get back in time. That is it. I'd say that's GG at this point, CeeJaey.
That was a cheeky little airshot from Raph there to take down Jinxie. But to no avail really, yeah, less than a minute. They basically have to get on the cart now and times 3 all the way into last. Even at that point, I'm not sure how long it takes from third to last. At least about 40 seconds. So it looks very unlikely. I have to say, the main difference there, we saw that first push from both teams was almost symmetrical. You know, both teams came in, they got the force with the suicides, then they took their Ubers out. The chess Uber wasn't as great. We see a nice little collateral from Kunu there, just to maybe get his form up for that last push before we head into the next round. Could be a possibility for chess to actually get the point here, but no, the Uber's used, and DVS doesn't even have anywhere close to Uber, so it's probably going to finish with just the 2 points capped for chess. But yeah, the difference there, both teams captured first, had it on lockdown. They got everybody on the team. They got the important classes. They then went to second. No point in contesting second when you basically wiped on first. But the big difference was when Feila went to third, their soldier, who's tagged up as Shrine Maiden, who's Mentalex, the ETF2L admin, he jumped up on the top left, looking from the attacking point of view, the balcony. He jumped up there and controlled it. Didn't allow the NG to get up there. Didn't allow the heavy to get up there. He didn't allow anyone to get up there into that higher position. And then when chess did the exact same thing, and when they were pushing and they were getting ready to push third, who was there in that balcony? Mentalex. He was there waiting to stop anyone from trying to take that position. Is so important on Badwater third. If you were to remove that, third would be easy to push, because at the moment that is where a heavy can sit and just deny anyone from taking space. And if you don't get up there, if you've got a dispenser in the stairs and you've got a sentry in the window, it is so hard to get access to that NG or that sentry. And from that balcony, basically you control third point, and both times attacking and defending, Menti was in the right space. He held onto that third point pretty much alone, bought enough time for Spamfest to get level 2 up, and from then on it was an uphill battle for chess to even set foot close to that third point. So I think, you know, the play of the game has to go for him, even though it doesn't come across as a huge thing. Tactically it was massive, and yeah, first point there goes to Feila quite comfortably.
Absolutely. I mean, at the same time, though, it was a brilliant first push by Tourettes Chess Club. As you say, they more or less mimicked what Feila did. That force followed by almost a wipe, and they were able to get second point without any trouble there. So maybe might see a turnaround. I would still say it was fairly close. Both teams had such quick times on the first 2 points there, and maybe if Tourettes Chess Club, who will be attacking first, if they don't have to worry about like a time to sort of beat, then they might have a bit more success taking that third. I think they would have taken that third point after given it like a couple more pushes. I think they would have had it, and if they captured the last point, it still would have been a pretty decent time. So they still say they've got good potential to take this back here, but I mean, I'm still going in favour of Feila there, because that aggression, I've never seen anything quite like it for a long time.
Yeah, it's interesting actually, because it was chess that picked this map. This was, pick ban system, so we have a best of three maps, and it was in fact chess that picked this map. So to get absolutely rolled on the first round of your map choice, you need to sit down and have a discussion, settle the nerves. People are still warming up, get your head into the game, because whether you win or lose this map, you don't want it to be another round roll. You want to be in a positive frame of mind. We can take a quick look at the the logs here actually before we go, and the striking difference I see. I mean, there's a lot of classes. It's pretty. 10 minutes, Chando. It's not really much to make a judgment on, but the big thing that stands out for me is the fact that Bloodis on heavy. I've seen Bloodis play NG. I've seen him play Scout. I've seen him play Pyro in Prem actually. A few different classes. Now taking a shot at heavy, he goes 11 for 2 with 5 assists. The KAD of 8 as a heavy, compared to his opponent Kresnik, who went 1 to 8, and he got 87 DPM, but less than 100 damage per minute. So, I mean, I'm not saying that was the cause of victory or loss for either team, but that is a very interesting and striking difference between the two players there.
Well, it's the same class, and one's right at the top of the logs, and the other one's right at the bottom. So there's definitely something there. I mean, the heavy as a class has got the potential to top frag 100%, and Bloodis definitely showed that. Why isn't KritzKast doing that? I mean, I've seen KritzKast perform, and he can perform at the very best. So for him to be hitting 1 to 8 is, I mean, it's a little concerning to see. It might be latency, maybe he's a little rusty, but at the end of the day, like, definitely expected more from that, and I'm very pleasantly surprised by Bloodis' performance there, going 11-2. So, congratulations to him. But I do believe we are live now here, and defending team Feila first. They're going to be given a shot on the defense, and just holding up onto that cliff as per usual. Kunu going to get the first pick onto Joan, in fact. Nice little headshot onto him. That's going to open up possibilities there. Now look at Mello. He managed to take down KritzKast, bring him into the respawn queue. Suicide's going to come out. Loads of pipes coming in, and the Pyro's coming in. It's going to be a drop. Layla drops to the Sinrise WM1. Pinky as well getting taken down. This is looking horrific for Feila. All that Tourettes Chess Club need to do now is regroup their players, and they might have to use this Uber. They might not even have to, though. It's only a level 1. They could quite easily get this without having to use.
I had to laugh there. I just saw Menti trying to spam some rockets on the sniper, and Mello, Agi, was stood there cloaked and blocked the rockets, and then Joe got a headshot. But we do see the Uber from Chess coming in now. There we go. Layla goes down again, actually, Kalis, with the pipes. And we do see a lot of frags here. Nice headshot from Kaza is going to take down DVS, and it looks like Feila might actually defend this. Only 2 alive for Chess. It's Deox and Kazul, the old boys on the block, and they haven't actually managed to cap first. And that's astounding, with a full Uber advantage, taking down the medic very early on. No heals for Feila. They just had much better positioning. They are giving up the first point in the end, but they've bought themselves so much time. They actually now have Uber advantage, and a shot at actually holding on to second here with I'm going to call this the strong opinion in the show, Chando, because I'm pretty sure we patented this. But Joe, they're taking down Kalis. Chess just making it hard for themselves.
So well played by Medina. I like to commend KritzKast for getting double the amount of kills he did last game already. Getting a nice 2k there, so he's already doubled his performance in my eyes. So well done, KritzKast. And they're going to be taking this second point, which you don't see so much nowadays. Most people just give it up and hold the third, and that's actually exactly what they're doing.
Oh, Kunu
turns up big time, gets the pick onto Layla. Shrine Maiden going down as well. They're going to hold this with a medic now, CeeJaey.
Kunu takes the three most important classes in Highlander. He takes on the sniper, he takes down the demo, and then he takes down the medic for good measure. Just look at where chess are now. This is where they want to be. They want to have an uber advantage on controlling this corner. Kunu with another hit, just take down the pyro. There's going to be absolutely no denial of this uber now. That level 3 is not going to survive. He takes down the sentry as well. Someone stop this kid. Kalis is dead to the counter body shot there from Kaza, but Chess Club almost guaranteed third here, and they have a good push here into last if they make it. They have 100% Uber in the bank. Layla is nowhere near. As long as DVS doesn't drop here, they should be able to repush once Kalis regroups with the team. And now it's all going to be a case of, can Feila get themselves, they're going into the spire area, this little spiral where it's kind of safe, you can regroup and rotate around. But wow, the Uber is used really early from DVS here. They just want to get straight onto the player's T-time to the best he can to try and deny this. They've taken space, but they all big pick from Kunu. Takes down Spamfest, no NG, no Sentry, and they could win this DM battle. Feila doesn't have her Uber yet, but Chess just deciding to hold onto the top ground. Feila's going to have 100%. They're going to need another drop to make some space here.
Absolutely, but the Uber's going to come out now for Feila, being led on by Joan, and now DVS is definitely trapped. He gets body shot, taken down by Kazarok there. There's Joe taking down Olga and Kresnik. So many picks now for Feila eSports. They can definitely hold on to this. Now Spamfest back up almost. They can really get a sentry back up, really start holding this. They're starting to hold a bit more aggressive here. I like this play, not giving them any space on the tracks here. Just Joan putting down a bit of spam down there. And yeah, now they've really got, now it's kind of been a bit more equalized at this point. Uber's 20% difference. It's definitely nothing to be too worried about if you were DVS. And yeah, they just need to really wait for the opportunity here now. Kunu getting sniped by Kazarok there. And is that Raf on the back lines? He's in a really good position at the moment. They're playing like kind of behind enemy lines. He might be able to get the pick onto Kazarok there. He's going to back out and go back to the spawn doors. But Raf's still kind of playing in this kind of map room area, which is really good for Soldier, and he's still uncontested. Finally going to have to back out, and the body shot drop onto DVS. DVS drops. Oh my lord. Kazarok getting backstabbed immediately for revenge, but the damage has been done. And now Layla with 100% Uber advantage looking even more comfortable.
One thing, if you're playing in Prem, you cannot peek sightlines. With the quality of snipers available at the moment, you cannot take that risk. I mean, if you stand into that sightline and you think, I'm not going to die, you're showing a lot of lack of respect for that player. You're taking a huge gamble. DVS there walking into sightline, and Kaza just taking a body shot to take him down. So Layla does have 100% now. DVS is 75% behind. I mean, they are attacking. I'm surprised Chess. I mean, from my point of view, if that's just happened, that's when you throw in a lot of players. You try to get the force, you try to get some picks. All it takes is them to kill Spamfest, or get a force onto Layla, or kill Joe. Then they've got a massive opening for themselves. As we see, Kazul goes for the sap on the sentry. He does actually get the sentry. Spamfest wasn't next to his gun, so that's going to be a big opening. Maybe that's the opportunity for Raf or Kalis to go in for a bit of a suicide. I liked Raf's play earlier on. Him and Zinreich just charged map room together, took down Menti, and a lot of free spam. But you see just kind of a dry push here from Chess, trying to get some cap time, but Joe is just going to shoot you down on that cart. So much damage. Huge pipes, 1 pipe, 2 kills. Kalis and Olga down. And we do see DVS with 100% Uber now, so maybe this is the opportunity they've been waiting for to get an exchange going and make some space. But a play hasn't been made on Layla for a couple of minutes now, and she's going to start feeling more comfortable by the minute. I mean, as a medic, when no one's threatening your life for a while, you really just get into that kind of zen frame of mind. You're just kind of like, okay, like I'm not under constant pressure. But we're going to see a push here now, Chando.
Absolutely, Ubers are popped. And it's going to be Joan who gets the first pick onto Deox there. Feel like DVS maybe flashed a few too many players in there. I guess he had to get the players in, but they just couldn't take the space in time. They had to back out. They didn't even scratch the sentry, let alone get the picks they needed there. High bomb in from Raf, playing by the spawn doors now. He's just going to be putting out a bit of light spam there. And they are getting good sort of space on this top area now. Someone needs to deal with that sentry though. It's going to be the sap that comes in, but they already managed to get the pick onto Kalis there. Joan, however, going down in return. Spamfest as well. Kazarok too. Kresnik just going in huge there. And he's going to be dropping down now. Gets the kill onto Ludis. Picks off Layla as well. Jinxie too. Tea time as well. That is a wipe. That is a wipe. And they are going to get this, and I'd be surprised if they can claw this back now.
Yeah, I mean, Menti's there. He could grab a couple of seconds maybe. Not enough. 7:20. That's more of a time that we were possibly expecting there. Just a kind of a relaxed push. I don't think Chess are going to be too displeased with it. They maybe want closer to 6 minutes, but 7:20, considering how they played in the first few points, they should be fairly happy with it. But at the same time, Feila are going to be looking at it and thinking, yeah, as long as we don't screw up too many pushes, we can have this in the bag. I mean, that final push there was really good from Chess. I don't like the fact that they're not taking risks outside of the Uber situations. DVS was building Uber. It takes 40 seconds to build an Uber. That's a lot of time for you to throw in a couple of bodies, get some cart time, get play on the med. You never know what could happen. And I feel a bit sorry for Kazul at the moment. Kazul he's played Prem since season 6. He's been around for a long time. He knows how it works, and his timing, I think, is some of the best among spies. He's always going in there at the right time. When there's a bomb, he's just behind the medic. When there's a suicide going in for the sentry, he's there sapping it. And he keeps making plays on the sentry, and he's not getting the support from most of his team because they're being so passive until they have Uber. But that final push was good. Kresnik dropped down at just the right time. So we'll see what happens there. I think it's all going to depend. If Joe can get the force out of DVS again, and we get a really strong first push, it could be another roll, but expecting Chess have learned a thing or two since that round, and maybe it could be a little bit more stabilised. We'll see.
I hope so. I mean, a good first hold would put them into good motion here to hold the rest of the round. If they can knock off a few minutes, and that would be great. Tea time gets taken down, and picks coming in favour, though, of Chess Club here. Sinrise taking down Mellow. Blood is going down as well. Yeah, I mean, that was not the best suicide wave. Definitely not as good as the first round, but you know, there's no harm in trying, and they're going to be coming back, I assume, with a second one, as looks like Menti getting into position again, putting out some spam there. Nothing really successful at the same time, though. Deox did go down, however, so they can probably get the pick onto that sentry, which is a start for another suicide wave. Once they get their respawns, no sentry is probably going to help you out a little bit. But for now, the cart's in a good position. Jinxie and Mellow both getting taken down, though. And yeah, they've just got to really line this up before the energy comes back. But he's already back now. The sentry's going to be back up to full scratch. They really should have dealt with that earlier. Ooh.
Oh, that's a drop! Kunu has just the right angle. He walks up the stairs, he peeks up the cliff. Bam! Layla down. And the Uber's used from Chess. They flash so many people trying to keep them alive. Sinrise actually doesn't stay alive there. Olga does clean up Bloodis. Joe is going to go down to Kunu as well. But DVS! No! He gets headshot by Kaza. And, you know, having that Uber would have made a difference. That is an insta-kill anyway. But Chess Club kind of in two minds here. They've got to be careful. They either need to be in or they need to be out. I think the real mistake there was Feila not putting pressure on that sentry. You know, Sinrise being the Pybro kept it alive until Deox respawned, and that made a big play in the fight there. But it does look like Feila eventually are going to take control of this first point. It's taken them 2 minutes, so that's a lot of time, more time than they would have wanted. And we see this kind of passive hold on second. Like I said, some teams like to have a hard hold on second. Kunu there watching the sideline takes some tea time. He was the furthest forward. But I think this is going to be a freebie for Feila on second. But it's still 5 minutes to go. Third point, I think Chess, they've learned. They've got a position now on third. They're getting a sentry up. Deox choosing not to put it in the window, having it closer to the balcony, and DVS holding with his sniper, but no, sniper goes down. He's trying to get those buffs, not using the Razorback, and gets taken down by Mellow. So no sniper, but in all of that, Layla died to Raf. Chando, did you see what the hell happened there?
I didn't actually see it. I think it was like just a good bomb. I think probably from roof. Took down Layla as well. So that's going to make things look very comfortable there. Kaza, getting the pick onto Deox there. Olga as well. Kaza just turning up, and the button knife onto Layla, taking down Layla there. Kunu with the double snipe. Kaza onto tea time as well. Back and forth frags here right now. For now, though, it looks like Tourettes Chess Club can easily hold this as Kunu just turns up so big, takes down Joan as well. He's getting all the frags he needs. I'm calling it. He definitely turned on. He's definitely doing something there. He is absolutely incredible at the moment. Picks off Jinxie as well. Huge performance boost from Kunu as well from this game. I think he's making all the difference. He's getting so many picks and just stopping any momentum from Feila at the moment.
Absolutely. I mean, Kunu just watching the live, we see Kazul still spawn camping, dominating Kaza, and if your sniper can't get out of spawn, he finally goes down there, Kazul, but if your sniper can't get out of spawn and actually challenge, it's very difficult for the rest of your team to actually make some space. It's like you said, Kunu is definitely on it right now. He's on fire, he's getting the picks, getting the damage down. And we see a window level 2. Deox, its Sentry is watching, but because it's not level 3, can't actually shoot anybody. He's having to wrangle up. It's not going to do much. And actually, Feila going to get this for free. The Uber is far too late to actually have any effect. And this is really, really bad from Chessclub. They're going to lose players. Collateral there from Kaza is going to take down KritzKast. DVS trying to get away. Almost craters, but 37 HP is enough for him to live. And they got their medic out, which is probably the only saving grace. Menti goes in for the bomb. Can he land the rocket? No, Sinrise and Olga combine to take down the threat of that soldier, but Feila just walked in there.
Absolutely. I mean, they just, oh my lord, the collateral taking down Panfest, but more importantly, taking down Layla as well to the head dot. Kaza gets Kunu in return there, but the damage has been done. And now the defense from Kalos up in the map room there. That's a smart hold, but he's got to be wary. He's going to get flanked. Kazarock and T-Time both getting shot down back into the respawn queue. Mellow, Jinxie as well. Not really enough players for Feila to push this here. And Layla now on a huge Uber disadvantage. However, it's going to be Menti trying to get that bomb onto DVS. Brilliant surf by him though. He gets back into the respawn, gets his health back. He's going to hold onto that Uber advantage for now. And now they can set back up. The sentries coming back up. The combos in. Getting their defense back in. This is looking like to be a stronghold with 2 minutes left as well. The pressure is certainly on for Feila. They've got maybe 2 opportunities here for successful pushes here. They've got to make it count. The first pick onto Sinrise is going to open up a possibility. KritzKast as well going down. Kalos and Kazul. Man, that is the whole combo done now. DVS has got an Uber to deal with, but he hasn't really got anyone to put it on. It might have to go onto the scouts. It's going to go onto Olga, and then use this back up. And at this point now, for some reason, Layla somehow managed to get into the room and then jump up. So I don't know how he did that, but that was a brilliant decision there. And they are just going to be able to use their Uber now. They're going to get onto the point there. It is an absolutely nail-bitingly close one here. So many picks, I can't even at the moment. Only Kunu survives. He can't do it. And that's going to be it for the first round. Feila, much closer second round, but it's not enough. Taking the first map in a 2-0.
I feel for DVS right now. I feel that boy was on an adrenaline high. He survived 3 times where he shouldn't have survived. That Uber exchange on third, which was terrible from Chess, but he managed to get out alive. He then survived the bomb from Menti when he was only 50 HP, got a pack, and then later on Menti going again for another bomb, almost got him, but he stayed alive. I mean, he did so much to stay alive and hold on to that Uber. Didn't force Uber when he could have there, but he didn't. He kept alive, and Chess had an Uber on last. They just needed to hold their position. I don't know what their combo's doing that causes 4 of them, the entire combo, to die just holding last. I mean, if you're attacking team on Badwater and you want to push into last and you take down the Pyro, the Demo, and the Heavy, I mean, you're just going to walk in for a free. All you got to worry about is the Sniper, and he's only going to kill one of you. The rest of you can just flood in. So really questionable positioning there from Chessclub. On third, they pretty much let them come in for free. And on last, basically just throwing the game, throwing players forward in positions they didn't need to be. Maybe didn't have the right support from each other. Maybe there wasn't communication. I've got your back, I'm not with you. I don't know, but they all died there, and that left DVS alone with a scout. There's not much he can do defending Badwater last with a scout on an Uber. Olga did his best to try and get Layla. Layla was 94%, but managed to get the charge just in time. But questionable decision making, I have to say, from some of the chess club players there. They could have done a lot better. They had a really good position. Their first point, 2 minutes it took them for Feila to actually push, and Chess Club had 5 minutes for the next 3 points. That should have been in the bag, and I'm sure a lot of the players thought that as well. Kunu, like you kept saying, absolutely on point. He was killing everything, and if your sniper's doing that, you just support him and you make sure none of you overextend and die. But yeah, Feila taking the first map, Badwater there, 2-0. That was Chess Club's choice of map. That was their pick, and they've just lost it 2-0. And that's going to be a morale, not booster. I don't know what's the opposite of a booster, like a downer. Like,
it's crushing. It's absolutely crushing. It really is. And you know what makes it even more crushing, I think, is the fact that the next map is Coalplant, and we all know how good Feila can be on Coalplant. You know, they beat Strong Opinions in the finals last season on Coalplant there. I mean, they are so strong, and I've never seen them lose. They beat us in the regular
season as well. I mean,
they beat in the regular season as well. That's, you know, they took down like one of the best Highlander teams we've seen in Europe, like of all time. And I don't mean to be rude to Chess Club here, but they're nowhere near as on point as someone like Strong Opinions were or SDCK. And Feila had absolutely no problem on this map. They know exactly how to play this map, and I've never seen anyone who can successfully counter it either. You know, it's going to be crushing losing your pick, Badwater, but then knowing that you've got to play Feila eSports on Coalplant is I don't know, I'd call it a write-off at this point, because I've never seen them lose like a game on Coalplant. Like, they are just absolutely unstoppable here, so I'm very excited to see how they tackle this one.
I think we're going into the unknown here, because this is very sniper-friendly map. I mean, looking at the logs from the previous game, there's not much to really decipher. There's no one who really kind of stood out. All of the classes are pretty much head-to-head there. Gunu getting 20 kills, but Kaz only just behind on 18. You're talking about how good Feila was last season, and from experience, having played them twice, obviously in the regular season and the final, the issue we had was their positioning, and they had a really good positioning. They had a really good hold. They pushed out in a really aggressive way, which caught a lot of teams off guard. We tried to counter it, and we're unable to do that without losing too many people. But also, when they have control of the point, they hold in such a position that you really can't do anything but have to contest the sniper. Saying that, last season they had 3 classes that I felt were extremely important that they don't have here today. Obviously, this is an entirely new Feila lineup. Obviously, they have Joe. He's going to be calling to do the same stuff that he did last season, same stuff that Feila as a team did so well. But they don't have Cloudy, who I feel is up there as one of the best snipers who's played in the past 4 or 5 seasons. He is in that league of the likes of Boar, the likes of Tracker. Those kind of players that just can really dominate a game. They have Kaza, who maybe is slightly unproven at this level, has shown so far he's doing well, but I don't think, is he at the same level as Cloudy last season? We'll have to wait and see. The other one is Middle. Included Middle as a soldier, did so much for the flank that he basically controlled the flank by himself. His bombs, he only bombed when he needed to, not all the time. Other times he just controlled that flank, and it allowed their scout to just have a free roam. The other one was Poker as a heavy. Now, Poker, best heavy of the season last season, as voted by the community. He played in such a way that he just waited, and he always survived in our fights. It didn't matter if we took down the sniper, took down the demo, but Poker was there alive, and we saw Bloodis do well so far on Badwater today, but I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting to see how Feila approach this. They could try and play the same way, and it could go really well for them, or they could try and play the same way, and because the players that they have, I'm not saying they're not as good, it's not what I'm saying, but they're different styles of players, and it could be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts on it, because we've got some good Sixes players on Chess, and I suppose from the neutral eye, a lot of people would favour Chess on this map.
I'm going to say, in terms of flank superiority, I might have to give it to Chess. I think Olga and Raf, exceptional players with brilliant cohesion, and I think that they'll do very well. Not to say, however, Menti is another incredible soldier, and Jinxie's really showed himself. I've never seen him really play before, not in these kind of level leagues, and not a scout as well. I think I saw him play Sniper a few seasons ago, and he did alright, but it's the first time he's playing on like a super high level. So they could do really well, but the combo, I'm still pretty confident that Joan has got such a brilliant strategy, brilliant mentality on this map that I think that he will come victorious here. The rollout is out, however, we are live, and it's going to be Kazarok getting taken down along with Shrine Maiden and Jinx. No combo, no sniper for Feila eSports here. However, Kalis getting backstabbed as well. There's no demo, but they are going to be able just to walk across the point there. Sinrise getting a 3k, taking down Layla as well. Bloodis and Tea Time getting flamed down. That WM1 just so powerful still. Even with the degreaser, he's so absolutely unstoppable. What have they done to Pyro? I really want to know. But they're going to get that, and I was not expecting it to go that well for Tourettes Frenchclub. Brilliant plays there by Sinrise.
You see the opening pick came out of Kunu there, took down Kaza. Once the enemy team doesn't have a sniper, it gives you so much more freedom. We see Menti try to take control of the top, but he's going to crater there, and that's going to cause Raph to try and go forward and get a bomb, but he can't fail it. Just playing the point, getting so much time on point here. Uber is used from Chess. I disagree with this. They are going to get a lot of frags, but Layla is far away. She's going to survive with an Uber advantage, so didn't really happen there. We see the deficiencies of the Machina there. Can't no scope, doesn't really quite work out well for you there, Kunu. But yeah, I mean, Uber advantage now for Feila, but a minute clocked off the time for Chess.
Yes, good start for Chess Club here. Now with that Uber almost coming in for Layla there. They might be a bit premature pushing this, but Josie seems confident in it. Give them their respect. As DVS gets taken down, brilliant pipes there by Joan, and loads and loads of picks. Now they're going to be able to get hold of that point there, and they actually held on to their Uber. That was the best way they could have played it. I was skeptical at first, but Joan's aggression and his initiative just absolutely tore up that midpoint there, and now they're going to be able to hold on to the point. They've still got more or less a full Uber advantage as well there. Mello getting caught out by Sinrise. It's not going to make the hugest difference, but Kunu getting Joan is going to make a big difference. Now the bomb comes in, gets the force. Brilliant high bomb there by Raf. He knew exactly where Layla was going to be. Layla getting knocked back now. It's going to have to be a solo onto the Pyro, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They're going to have to give this one up. Fair play to them. And now it's just Bloodis in. I don't know what. I think he's trying to buy Layla a bit of time as she tries to back up, and she's got the space now. She did get out with her life, which is something there. But they're going to be able to get to that point. Kalis, however, getting taken down. Big pick there. Deox as well. No demo, so they could definitely do this. Joan wasting no time. Someone's got to deal with Raf, though. He's playing uncontested on that barn roof. And they are sort of contesting midpoint, which is good to see because Joan getting scattergun down. Mello as well is going to be sent back to the respawn queue there. Unsuccessful push of Feila.
Yeah, I mean, Kalis there had so much aggression on the players that left alive on Feila, and no one supported him. He was really baited, so that's the reason why he died. Unable to take advantage of that. They are approaching an Uber here now, but DVS has that full charge. He's lost his flank, but the Uber is used onto Sinrise. Can they catch Layla? She hasn't got Uber yet. She's at 99%. She gets out and counters onto Joe. He's going to take the rest of that Uber. Thank you very much. Pipes KritzKast. Spambears there, getting aggressive with his shotgun. And a lot of players die, including DVS. There we go, Menti there with the rockets to take him down. So Uber advantage in the hands of Feila, but they're a full minute behind here. But there we go, Menti takes down KritzKast and Kunu. Really late spawns for those guys now. Really interesting position they're holding. But yeah, Feila getting settled back into their position, getting Kazza up on that balcony, and trying to keep those heals up, and they're just going to counter Uber as Chess trying to dry cap this.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they haven't got Jinxie, but other than that, I don't see why they can't hold this off. I guess they didn't have the positioning there, as now only 45 seconds left for Chess Club to hold this down, as opposed to 1 minute 45 for Feila. But Layla gonna have that Uber advantage on 90% now, more or less. So they're getting ready for this repush. I'm sure they don't want to be wasting any time now. We get down to the 30-second marker for Chess Club. One failed push, and Chess Club could take this first round here. The Uber's going to come out though, and they're going to have to give this up. They don't want to risk DVS dying before he gets that Uber. Now he's going to have 100%, and he's using out really early. In fact, he already lost KritzKast as well. Kunu getting backstabbed, but the picks coming in for them at the same time. T-Time and Joan getting picked off as well, and now they didn't even manage to cap. Only 5 seconds left, and really has to make last-ditched efforts there. Kazra, get on the point, man. You got nothing else you can do. What are you doing? Oh no, he's going to try and get the side. He actually managed to get Sinrise, but I don't know, maybe you should just on out with the melee there and try to tackle the point.
Yeah, I mean, really kind of well played there by Chess. They popped straight back out. They just wanted to use that Uber to block the point, and I kind of understand it. Even if that push had gone totally wrong, they would have bought the overtime, which meant all they had to do was cap. So we'll see what happens on this mid fight. We did see Kalis and Kazza going down very early on. Are they going to be the first frags here, or are they going to be alive for slightly longer? Raf is actually the first casualty. Bloody's totally denying him. Big bomb in from Menti now. Can he get anything down? No, he gets denied by KritzKast. But there we go. Kunu taking down the heavy. Deox is going to take down the demo. Big picks onto Feila, and Sinrise thirds one forward, trying to get some damage down. But Layla does survive, Chando. It's going to be equal Ubers essentially. She just gets out. But Chess, another commanding mid there.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like they took a really good approach there. They played a little bit passive. They kind of baited Feila's aggression in there, which is something you don't see much. You usually see like a team trying to fight Feila's aggression with more aggression, and usually Feila comes out on top. But this time they sort of backed away. They waited for the bomb. They dealt with Menti, and then they saw that the players were on point and just spammed them out. Kunu got a good pick onto Bloodis as well, which did wonders there. But now they're going to try that dry push again. The Uber does come out, countered onto Kalis now. Kunu getting picked off. T-Time as well. Lots of frags. Kazarok getting the kill onto Deox there. But more or less, and pretty unsatisfying Uber there for Feila. They might get the points, but I don't really know for how long there. They currently don't even have any time on it. And it's kind of back and forth fracture at the moment. Kalis, however, getting sniped by Kazarok is going to change everything. I think Feila now can hold on to it a little bit more comfortably. They kind of pull back a little bit. Now they're waiting for these... deal with the next wave of spawners, which are just coming in now as they push in from the right side, or left side I should say, sorry. Tourettes Frenchclub just kind of regrouping a little bit on that left side point there, trying to edge cap the point. That's Olga there doing his best, and it's going to be Sinrai gets popped into the air, dies from full damage. But I mean, now as KritzKast goes down as well, good backstab there by Mello, and Feila now with the Uber advantage. They're taking this aggressive. They need to try and get the pick onto DVS, though. He is out of there, and Layla actually getting taken down along with Joe. That was an abysmal push, actually.
I don't understand. Like, surely that call has to come out of Joe. They have this passive hold down to a T, and suddenly they're going aggressive, and they want to forward hold when most of Chess are alive. No idea what happens there. What it takes, I mean, you just expose yourself so much, which is what they did. And Layla dropping there to the body shot of Kuno. I think it was a headshot, I'm not sure. But basically, we go with Menti going in for a bomb now. DPS not even worried. Kuno survives with 1 HP actually. Gonna get healed up now, and the Uber's actually used. Gonna chase down Bloodis, but it's probably gonna be the only frag to get out of this. But I'm just seeing, at the moment, there was a couple of moments there where I felt Chess could push. They got so much damage onto Layla that she had to play in a passive position. As a medic, if you're less than 50 HP, just tickling you is going to make you go down. And she had to play passive, and Chess should know that. Someone should call the fact that they've done so much damage to the medic, but they weren't doing that. And you can see here, they're playing so passive, they're letting Feila walk onto the point for free. They have Uber advantage, they have players alive, and they just let them cap for free. So, really questionable decision making here from Chess. And at the moment, I feel that Chess aren't fully in control, and the only way they're getting into this is that Feila are making mistakes, and that's allowing, you know, an opening here for Chess to get in. Of course, Canoe is helping out the cause with some meaty frags, but yeah, now we just see another kind of cap for free. It's just really weird coming in here, but we do see DPS running away. He is going to get his Uber, and that's going to be an Uber advantage for them to push on.
Absolutely there. I mean, DVS now with 100%. They are going to start walking back in, and probably going to have to pop it off here. But I don't really know where DVS is gone. I think he surfed away, just got Kalis in time there. So that was lucky for him there. KritzKast as well. They're going to start playing the point here. Nice and aggressively to pick up to tea time. And they're going to be able to take this for free. But the backstab, I do believe it was, by Mello, gets the double stab, taking down Deox and DVS. And yeah, that is going to be a big game changer. Maybe he should have just used that. Layla now with 50% advantage. He can probably walk this back in when she gets some more players respawning. So it's just a matter of time now. DVS already back up there. But they're going to be playing this point now. And it's going to be Jinxie kind of taking the lead here as they just start dry capping the point. And this is something that I can't see Chess Club doing a lot. They don't just try and play the point. They wait until they've got an Uber. It's the same thing we saw on Badwater. They were waiting. They weren't trying anything until they had an Uber. And it seems like they don't want to take those risks. And they should be trying to play a bit more confidently. Because if anything, so far, this has shown like how well their DM is. And you know, they really can actually excel from this. The Uber comes out, takes down Sinrise. It's going to be Jinxie gets blasted into the skybox there. But I think DVS managed to get out, in fact. They are going to be able to capture the point here, but now DVS coming in on 75%, so it's only a matter of time now before the Uber gets countered by him. They're pushing in once again from the same side and wasting no time, which is good. They really need to start playing this clock a little quicker. They can already get back on the point. It's already half capped at this point. They really need to do something. The good, brilliant rockets onto Raf, from Raf onto Layla, sorry, and they're going to be able to get this point.
A little bit of inexperience there. I'm kind of liking what I see from Chess right now. What they're doing is they're letting the cap go down. They're making sure they force the Uber when it happens, and that means DVS has got out every single time. He's got out every single time, which means he's able to re-push with an advantage. It has meant that they've given so much time to Feila for free, and they're now in a situation where they have to be careful about giving the point up any longer. KritzKast down to 5 HP. Can he survive? Oh, the rockets from Menti. Oh my days. Kunu and DVS are down. KritzKast got finished up there by Bloodis, and actually just are bleeding players now, and they looked in control. And they're going to have to give this up, surely. They're flooding players on the plane. Got better respawns here, but all of the players are going down. There is a level one in the door. It's just killing anyone who gets onto the point. This is painful to watch. Now this is just shooting fish in a barrel for Spamfest and his mechanical gun, but just it seemed that they wanted to do was have control of the point, and then when Feila came in with the Uber, make sure that they forced Uber either through Raf jumping in or KritzKast staying forward and just putting damage down. Layla would use, because they wanted to get aggressive with it, and DVS got out every single time, and they counter in a few seconds later with the Uber to recapture the point. Works out well for them, except when those kind of dry exchanges in between don't have anything, no substance to them. We see Kaza getting the first kill of this new mid. Olga down, Raf also down to the flank before chessclub is dead. And it's just going to see a slow-paced game. A lot of P on the battlefield right now. Chess are covered in it. And it looks like Feila are going to win this fight. They're getting aggressive. DVS is going to get caught out by T-Time. They're going to pick up a lot of frags there. Only 3 alive for Chess here. And that's the first mid-fight win of this second map by Feila. And they're starting looking like they're getting into this, Chando.
Feila, yeah, brilliant sort of mid-fight there. The early pick by Kazarog opened up possibilities, and they didn't go too aggressive. They waited their time a little bit, and then they pushed in when they saw the opportunity was right. Instead of just going straight onto the point, they kind of gave it a bit of time, got the damage out first, and that's exactly what they needed. Secured it very comfortably. Layla with 100% Uber advantage. Well, not quite, but it's a big enough Uber advantage. Kalis getting sniped. Brilliant headshot there by Kazarog, who goes down in return to Kunu there. But now a high bomb coming in from Raf. Gets a very nice force, actually. Raf gets taken down, but Layla's used a Ruba. Big change up now as DVS comes in on 75%. KritzKast and Sinrise, however, getting picked off. But it's not really going to matter. They just got to get their respawners back in 5 seconds. Then DVS can make that push. As Joan gets scattergun down. Brilliant play there by Olga. Someone needs to do a T-time. He's going to have to back up a little bit. He gets body shot by Kunu, in fact.
Oh my days!
2 rockets by Raf as well. What was that? Pops Layla up into the air, and then a brilliant little direct there. Puts her into the respawn queue, and Tourettes Chessclub going to take this. What a sick play, CeeJaey.
That was absolutely crazy. Nice air shot from him. Chessclub in control of the point, and once again, they are in a good position. Nice surf there from DVS. He stays alive from the Menti bomb. And this is good play by Chess. In theory, this is good play. They're getting the force, they're getting the cap. The problem is, every time they do this, they give up so much time. That was 1 minute and 13 seconds they've given away pretty much for free there. Looks like Chess are rotating to the opposite side of the point. They want to get aggressive here with their heals. Bloodis is the only person far forward. And they use, not sure I agree with this, they're not going to catch Layla out. She's on the opposite side of the map, and she's got Joe for company. And in comes T-Time. Can he get... Oh, DVS is so weak, he's on fire, and he gets finished off by Mello. That's heartbreaking. They get a lot of frags, but it doesn't matter. If no one kills Layla, then they're going to be able to push him with an Uber advantage any second. Okay.
Scratch that.
Kazul comes in, and he just he's like, alright, fine. When the time calls for a man to make a big play, I am the man who's going to make the big play. And he saves it there. DVS and Layla are going to respawn at the same time. Feila may be able to cap this through brute force alone. It's going to cost them a lot of bodies. T-Time very weak here, and he's doing the best he can to reflect. He can't reflect bullets. Dolga is dominating him, and Chess in the lead now.
Not sure I like that play by Feila there. They should have really waited for Layla to respawn instead of trying to trying to contest and whatnot. Was a bit, I don't know, a bit of an iffy play there. They're just sort of wasting valuable HP without their medic. They didn't even get that much time on the point there. They should have just backed up, waited for their medic. But the medic's up now, and they just need to get the point now. Jinxie doing his best. He's going to get the cap finally, putting things in motion for Feila. And about 1 minute 40 for the Feila eSports team, and only about a minute left for Tourettes Chessclub. So easily done. Brilliant bomb there by Menti, and he manages to get DVS as well before getting down to KritzKast. Brilliant play there, and now Layla coming in almost at 100%. They can rest easy now. It's definitely going to be Feila in the driving seat for now. And interesting play. They're playing the opposite side that we usually see them, CeeJaey. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's the first time I've really seen them constantly playing there. Force comes out, however. Brilliant force there. Raf just seems it's so predictable, though, because Raf has done the same thing like 3 times now. And
that's the bad thing
exactly
about that hold. It's the bad thing about that hold, and this is why teams don't like to hold there, because you don't have a sight line on the top of that shack, and soldiers can just jump across for free. So Raf does that again, and like you said, predictable, but no one's countering it, so he's just going to keep doing it until it stops working. Advantage here for Chess, and again, you know, they have this advantage. They've got the force, they can push now. The thing about Feila is that they're not scared to dry push, and it's going well for them when they dry push. And if a team's able to dry push and capture the point over and over again, they're going to chip off time. They got 30 seconds left here. Chess just about making their way across. It's a tough proposition. They have to get something big here. They need to get Layla down.
Absolutely. I don't know why they're not committing a little bit more. With a bit more raw aggression, players just sticking onto the point. They could easily get that. And look at what Olga's doing. This is what they should have been doing, 20 seconds ago. Shrine Maiden gets taken down. DVS, however, going down just before Menti can get picked off there. And so now Uber charge for Feila there, and they're also going to have an Uber charge. DVS isn't going to be up for another 5 seconds or so. So it's fine to make that kind of Uber decision then, because the medic's already down at that point, and now only in seconds, and it's going to be an absolute race to the point. Sinrise just jumps onto the point there. Bomb comes in from Menti, trying to push them back there. I don't know if they're going to be able to deal with this. No, they're not. Only player on there was Kalis, and he was swiftly backstabbed by Melo there. Going to make this 2-1 for Feila. Definitely in the driving seat now. They definitely warmed up a little bit.
I mean, that second round was so close. That must have been a gut punch for Chess. And then being in a really strong position there with that Uber and DVS dropping, I mean, you can't blame him. That bomb in from Menti was just so precise. One rocket was all it took. That must really hurt for Chess right now, and they are 1 round away from being knocked down into this lower bracket, and they've lost 3 players already. DVS is weak as well. Menti's going in for the bomb. Can he finish anyone off? Manages to take down Sinrise, and that is 2 players alive. Then we go Jinxie with the finishing blow onto DVS. He is dead. Feila have captured them 2nd mid in a row now, looking like they've understood what they were doing wrong in the first couple of rounds, and they fixed that right up. Layla survives as well, so Chess have a mountain decline. If they don't win the next 2 rounds and force this into a 3rd map, they will be knocked down into the lower bracket of these qualifiers, and it will be Feila moving on to play against Wasp in the semi-finals.
Here comes the standard bomb from Raf there. Doesn't get the force, actually. Layla just uses, and the backstab by Mello onto DVS and Sinrise as well. Brilliant spy work from him. They're going to be able to hold on to this. Just got very nearly capped though. It was a very last minute Uber there, but Layla's going to hold on to the advantage by about 10% once again, and they're in control. Kazro getting the snipe onto Kunu there. Kayla's getting butter knifed down by Mello, who's really stepped up in these later rounds as well. I'm going to remark on how lucky they were to have Mezzo in the last season, but Mello's really doing his bit. He's really stepped up in these last couple rounds here. Again, this picks he needs for his team, and they're going to be able to recapture this. Well, actually, maybe not. They do want to back up a little bit. They do lose Joan. So that's going to be their main kind of damage dealer. Back in the respawn queue there. Sinrise now covered in wheat, but the double is it double reflect, taking down Kunu and Olga as well. And I think that they're going to be having stern words with Raf there, and they're going to be able to recapture this.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard when you capture the point and the enemy team's in the lead, and then they just capture it back off you, and they're just going to extend their lead. DVS does have 100% now, so they really need to make this exchange worthwhile. I mean, it's good to just exchange, get the Ubers out of the way, and then re-dry push it, okay? Get in there. Every frag that you get is better for your team because they have the longer respawns. But we do see Kaza on a 4K right now, takes on a few players. Flank is just pressuring. Raf goes down as well. The Uber exchange is on the point, but Chess are 3 down, so it's not going to work out well for them. DVS gets tackled, but does manage to survive. Kresnik died on the retreat though, and it doesn't look like Chess have the firepower to really contest this here, although Olga is doing his best trying to get that capture down. Kalis walking forward now, but he does have the support. He's just going to get taken down by Joe. Joe has that heal beam on him all the time, and he has some players behind him. Sinrise needs an arrow. Can he get an arrow? No, he can't. He can't. And Chess are 3 up, and that's been what, 10 seconds, Chando, that they held on to the point?
That seems to be their problem. They seem to be okay at taking the point, but they never seem to. They don't hold on for long enough. They don't try and contest Faila's aggression when they haven't really got any reason to sort of back up. They don't necessarily have like sort of any disadvantages there. Slight Uber disadvantage, but not really any need to back up. But they keep doing it, and now they're putting things into. They're going to be under huge pressure, really. I mean, 40 seconds left, 35 seconds, and then they're out. Well, they're in the lower brackets, and I'm sure that they really want this Prem spot. I mean, as any team does, fighting at the moment there. Shrine Maiden, though, look at that 2k, taking down Olga and Princess DVS. He's got on a KritzKast as well. Brilliant sort of aggression from the Feila flank there. So only 10 seconds left now, only a few players up. It's going to be last-ditch efforts for Tourettes Frenchclub. They're going to be just rushing for the point there. Can they make it in time? Sinriser's just going to be running straight onto point, along with Olga. They're going to get the smallest amount of time on point there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Deox and Kazul both getting picked off there, but they're finally starting to get a little bit of time there. DVS, however, getting finished off, crated, as he tried to. I don't know what happened, but T-Time getting the pick there. Kazarok, brilliant headshot onto Raf, and it's just going to be all up to that little engineer. He doesn't even scratch the surface of the point there. Deox getting swiftly put down. That is going to. Oh, is that going to do it? No, not quite. Sinrise is back in, and he gets taken down again. And this is just, farming now. It looks like Menti is just farming big time, as Tourettes Frenchclub do not want to give it up yet, but they're not going to be able to do it. And that is going to be it in a 3-1 victory for Feila, and they are going to go on through to the semi-finals of this Prem qualifier.
Wow, I mean, I don't know what to say, really. I mean, it's difficult. Chess picked Badwater. Obviously, they felt comfortable on it, but they essentially got rolled on that first round, and the second round was extremely close. But in the end, Feila just seemed to edge it, just a little bit more tactical awareness towards the end there. On this map, Feila pick it. They obviously feel comfortable on it, given their prowess at it last season, but this is an entirely new roster, and yeah, I mean, look what happens. Chess start to do really well. They pick up the first round. It looks like they should be winning the second round, but Feila just kind of, I don't know, maybe Joe was just calling and getting people, and people were listening into the right positions like they were last season, and they're just trying to get accustomed to those roles, So in the end, it's Chess that are dumped out of this upper bracket. Just taking a look at the logs, and I was going to say before even looking, my MVP for that second map had to be Menti. I mean, I called him out on that first map for his position on third, just denying the forward push from Chess, but also helping win the third push for his team on that first round. Did so well. On this game, he was just constantly on DVS. DVS didn't have time to breathe without Menti just being on him. There we go, 31 kills from the German soldier there, just behind KritzKast, who managed to go 32 for 16. So doing very well for his team. But 7 air shots from Menti, a couple of them were on DVS, 5 med picks. Just behind him is actually Mello on 4 med picks. Huge damage coming out of the players there. The highest damage was a Spy, Mello, but Joe also going 500 DPM. So it's just Feila playing in a way that they were used to, and everyone playing it correctly. And once they realized what they needed to do, Chess, I felt Kalis was getting good aggression, but he wasn't supported by the rest of his team. There wasn't enough players coming in sync with him. If they'd gone at the same time, maybe some of those pushes would have been more successful. But a lot of the times I saw him pushing forward, nobody with him getting picked off, and then during the ensuing Uber fight, Chess might win it. But, when your demo is constantly dead because you're not supporting him, it does kind of damage your potential. So that means Chess are knocked down to the lower bracket. They will be having to play against one of the losers. It says the loser of 1 plays the loser of 4. So the loser of this game will play the loser of the opposite semi-final. So these two teams won't have the chance of playing each other again. Feila eSports go through to the next round. Into the semi-finals, they'll play Wasp. The winner of that will be qualified for Prem for Season 15. The loser will drop down to the lower bracket. So there is plenty more games to be played. There's a lot of action. Anything stand out for you on the logs there? Or anyone who kind of shone for you during the game here today, Chando?
I gotta give a big old apology to KritzKast. I feel like I blasted him a little bit for going like 1 kill to 8 in the first round of Badwater. And this man just comes up on like almost 200 ping, and he top frags 2 KD, 32 to 16, damage for a heavy, almost at 300 DPM there. So my sincere apologies to you, KritzKast. I love you, man. You've really redeemed yourself in my eyes. Otherwise, as you already said, Shrine Maiden, Menti, I would have to agree though, MVP huge work in terms of getting DVS back into that respawn queue there, keeping Layla with the Uber advantage. I think he pretty much is I wouldn't say single-handedly won the game, but his effort really went a long way to them recapturing those points and taking it back from a 1-0 to a 3-1 there. So well played to him as well. And finally, once again, Kunu as well. I mean, it was on the losing team there, but outsniped Kazarok by 7 kills and less headshots, but good amount of kills, good amount of damage as well, and fair play to him as well. So other than that though, and yeah, Mello as well actually. I was saying, how good I thought Mezzo played in the last season on Coalplant especially, but Mello really turning up at the same time and showing him that he can easily replace Mezzo for Feila there, so well played to him as well. But just well played all round. There's no one really on that, even though you could say it was a fairly decisive game, 3-1. I'm going to say it was fairly close, and that there's no one on there that particularly I felt was underperforming at the same time. So everyone's kind of doing a decent level of damage, a decent kill to death ratio and whatnot. So it's really good to see. Fairly close game there. So I've certainly had a really good time watching as well.
Absolutely, and spoiler alert for anyone who wants to watch any sort of VOD of the other game happening right now. Looks like On Her Majesty's Secret Service did win Upward against Little Team 2-0. They're playing Gullywash at the moment, so the winner of that game will be going through to the next round to face against Open Squad. So, we do have games here. Chester aren't totally out of it. They could still bounce back and qualify through the lower bracket, but looking at seeing how the teams have played here today, Chando. We've seen Feila, we've seen Chess Club, obviously two of the teams that were probably the biggest favourites to qualify, based on reputation alone. Do you feel that Feila have a chance against Wasp, and do you think Chess Club are going to be able to battle all the way through the lower bracket? Do you think we're going to see both of these teams in Prem for season 15?
I think it's going to be really hard to predict how Chess Club will fare against Little Team and On Her Majesty's Secret Service. They're both project teams. They're both new. They both have some big names, but they're both very much new, and I don't think that there's any sort of history with those teams. There's history with the Chess Club, there's history with Feila, and there's synergy. And even though the rosters may have changed, a lot of the players that are coming back from previous seasons and they've got experience playing, so it's going to be very hard to sort of predict how this little team and how this other British team, I'm going to call them, how they're going to sort of fare, because there's nothing really to compare them to. They got some big names at the end of the day, like Yak's kind of leading the MI6 team, and he's picked up like Marv and stuff like that. So there's some good names there. I think that they'll do a lot better though. I think that they were playing against the strongest team here in this qualifier sort of cup, and they will probably fare a lot better against those other two teams there. So I can imagine seeing Tourettes Frenchclub and Feila into Prem, but I'm not too certain. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe Yak's team will really shine. They've got some big names there, and maybe even Little Team will kind of wow me and impress me, because I don't know enough about them at the moment.
Well, thank you for casting with me today, Chando. It's been a pleasure as always. For those of you just joining, it is all over, but it's not all over for our teams. This was merely the first round of the qualifiers. We just watched Feila eSports win against Tourettes Frenchclub 2-0. They took Badwater 2-0 and Coalplant 3-1. They are one match away from qualifying for Prem next season. Chess Club still not down and out, just lower in the lower bracket. Still have a chance for taking one of the 3 spots available. We will have more games in the future, most likely an upper bracket game tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled on the KritzKast schedule for who will be casting and who will be playing in that game. And we do have other games throughout the week. There's a lot of stuff happening as the teams fight for those last remaining spots in ETF2L Prem for Season 15. Thank you for watching, guys. A shout out, as always, goes to the KritzKast Patreon. Please support the channel for all they do for TF2, not only Highlander casting, but elsewhere as well. And of course, we've got the Copenhagen Games lined up. Chando will be there. I'll be there. We're going to have a lot of casters. We're going to have a lot of gamers as we cover the Highlander tournament, which features some Prem teams of ages gone past, and some newer faces as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well. But thanks for watching, guys. Take care and have a good night.